Blue Jean Chef, also Far Out Groovy Chick.
Yes,
This is K45427. This is a knife that is going to answer so many common concerns when it comes to slicing different foods, because the knife and the food create this suction.
Right.
When that happens, the food adheres to the knife, making it harder to use and not as safe.
Exactly. That's a general knife. But with this knife, we break the friction with this groovy pattern, which to me is pretty ingenious. Now, the edge of the knife down here is completely straight, so you do get a straight cut when you cut something. You don't get a waffle cut.
Right.
But here, this allows the food to release from the knife, and it falls away from the knife, and it's so much easier to slice through. So if
You're also going to be able to sharpen this knife as you need to, right?
Absolutely, totally normally. If you've ever had this problem where, you know, the potato sticks to the knife and you're always constantly pushing it off the knife as you're slicing, slowing you down, this is where you're going to actually excel with the Groovetech, because you see, each time I slice, the potato does not stick to the knife. I love this. It allows me to be more efficient and faster when I'm slicing, and I get to do things more quickly. I love that. Plus, if you take a look at how this is made, we actually take 3 different knives and we put them together. So there's a chef's knife, a santoku knife, and a utility knife, and we put it all into one. We take the best features of those 3 knives, and then we put this wavy edge on the side of the blade. So if from the top down, it looks wavy. What that does, of course, is goes through the food easily. Why? Because there's a little bit of air between the food and the knife blade. And what that does is it breaks the friction. When you break the friction, then you are, I'm sorry, I'm just looking for that big old chunk of cheese.
Oh, it's down here.
Oh, thank you so much. When you break that friction, it's easier to push the knife through food. So it goes through things like cheeses more easily. It goes through bread really nicely because it's made of Japanese stainless steel. It goes through potatoes and salamis without those things sticking to the knife blade. And that, of course, helps you be efficient. But this is where it's really at. Let me show you.
Well, and if I may, real quickly before you do that, just hit colors.
Yeah.
We have this for you in a set of 2 red. I have a set of 2 black. And finally, a set of 2 blue.
And what you're getting, David,
and
is
if you want that blue,
okay.
I beg your pardon.
That's okay.
And we have fewer than 500 left in the blue. You were saying, I'm sorry?
If you're getting a 7-inch Mezza knife, that's the knife I was just showing you, then you also get a 5-inch utility knife, which is a nice, sharp-pointed, thin knife. This is a knife similar to that. And if I was to try to cut this cheese through here, like this, you see, this is where the friction starts to build, and it becomes very difficult to get through.
Ooh.
But I know.
Makes
But
me
when you
nervous
go
every time.
through with the Groovetech knife, just that little bit of air that gets through the knife and the food allows you to slice through it more easily. And look at that, just falls off. Now look at the piece of cheese, completely straight. It's not a waffly or wavy cut of cheese, beautifully straight, but still easy to do.
Wait.
Just enough for you.
I was just going to make sure it was okay.
All right, you do that. Now the one cheese that is the most
Perfect.
difficult to slice easily without squishing it is, of course, mozzarella cheese. But look
And
at
that's
this.
because of the milk content, right?
Well, yeah, and it's a very soft cheese. But look, when I go through here with just that utility knife, it falls away from the blade. It doesn't squish this down into a little, you know, flat pancake of a cheese. Look at that. That I love. Look at that. Look at that beautiful slice of cheese there. If you're making a caprese salad, that would be...
I'm crazy for caprese.
Well, you are crazy. We know that. But of course, potatoes really give you that. I don't ever slice a potato or slice cheese without a Groovetech knife. Look at that. So much easier when you can actually know that potato slice is going to fall off your what do you call it? Knife blade. Yeah. And then, of course, it can do all the regular things that you would do with a knife. The things that you normally slice with, this is not going to impede any of those activities. So you can still do all of that with your Groovetech.
Even something waxy like a pepper.
Exactly. These are peppers, eggplant, tomato. They're all members of the nightshade family, and they have very, very tough skins to get through, even though you think they're relatively soft. So you can still do that. Now it has the wide blade like a santoku, so you can pick foods up easily and move them off your cutting board. I love that as well. And then, of course, we call it a Mezza because it has that great curve to it. So if I was, say, going to chop some parsley, I could rock through that parsley with the knife like a mezzaluno. Let me show you. Just like that, and rocking back and forth. That's why we called it a Mezza knife.
Nice. Beautiful. Let's go take a look at colors again. Reminding you, I have a set of 2 in the red, most popular. Here's a set of 2 in the black. And if you want the blue, 400, all I have to go around. Now, these do come along with the covers, these sheaths.
Yeah, and they are fantastic, David. Let me tell you, I try to go on vacations once, twice a year. I go to a vacation home. I always take knives with me because they never have
In your checked bag.
In my checked bag. You, on the other hand, not so much. But
One
that's okay.
time, I left one in my briefcase, went through the airport. Yeah. One time. One time.
But to have a utility knife and the Mezza knife, which is more like a chef's knife, those are really the only two knives you need. This is like a really long paring knife, so it allows you to do things that are a little bigger than what you would use a paring knife for, but still do the paring knife jobs, like doing that with a tomato, slicing, or sorry, a strawberry.
Strawberry, capping the
Is
strawberry.
it after 10 o'clock? You know, I usually go to bed at 10 o'clock.
Here's my thing. I went to the airport with the knife. I did not go past security with the knife.
You sure didn't.
They found it. It was a product sample. It was in my bag. I didn't realize it was there. And the TSA agent found it.
Sure did.
And we had a very lengthy conversation about why I was carrying a knife until he realized what I did for a living and how horrified I was that it was there. I didn't realize it. So someone in baggage claim, I guess, now has a knife. Yeah.
Maybe he recognized it as a very good knife and a very interesting.
It was a Groovetech, as I recall.
Oh, I know it was.
Yeah.
They called me.
Yeah. I called. I was like, please call Meredith. She'll vouch for me. This is K45427. My darling, I'm going to see you Sunday, am I not?
Well, you're still going to see me a little more tonight because, you know, I haven't just had quite enough of you.